Tips for sisters: don't buy clothes that are thick. I would buy like very thin clothes because it gets really hot, and to buy clothes that you can wash by hand because they get very worn out easily. And so that's a really good thing to bring. Also, as far as like toiletries, they really mean it when you can't find everything there. So what I would do on transfers, or even before I came out on my mission, I had just a suitcase dedicated to toiletries, whether that's like feminine needs, shampoo, conditioner, all of that stuff. And then there's another bag just full of clothes. And so usually that worked great because by the time you come home, you have a bag that's empty because you used all the toiletries, and you can bring home souvenirs. So that was always nice. Just know that your hair is going to be frizzy no matter what you do with it. So try to plan accordingly, but usually product doesn't really work for it because it's just super hot and humid. Just try to bring clothes that you can be nice and cool in, even though it's hot. But if you get assigned to Baguio, just bring a couple cardigans because it does get really cold.
When it comes to clothing, I would advise sisters sa Davao Mission na magdala ng mahahabang skirts or stockings, and bring off lotion or mosquito repellent. Kasi very common ang dengue sa Davao Mission. One time that I got sick, isa sa mga zone leaders namin suspected I had dengue. And it turns out that it was, he got the dengue. He got sick with dengue. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because of that, but he got sick with dengue later on, which is very unfortunate for most of the missionaries. Actually, there was, when I was serving my mission, it was funny because I got sick and I was in the hospital, and then I was with 3 other missionaries that were sick from dengue, that got sick from dengue sa hospital. And yeah, and one of the missionaries in our mission almost died because of dengue. So kailangan talaga to be safe, especially for Sister Missionaries kasi we wear skirts. We're not, fully covered all the way to our toes, kagaya ng mga elders. So, kailangan maging safe. Always apply off lotion before leaving the apartment, even the apartment kung may mga lamok pa rin sa apartment. Always, I guess, general advice for safety is to always walk in lighted streets. It's not even, yeah, like, and where there's a lot of people, of course. Para, syempre, diba, hindi ka naman pupunta sa isang kali na, alam mong delikado kasi madilim. And so, para maging safe, kailangan, and never, ever, ever leave your companion. Kasi yung mga iba talagang lalayo sila, or minsan pag nag-aaway sila or may disagreement or something, magkalayo sila na maglakad. So no, like always stick together.
You don't need to pack 2 years worth of like shampoo or deodorant because they have it there. Because like one of my luggages was literally like all like hygiene stuff and like toothpaste, everything like that. But I got there and you can get everything there. So it's not as like third world as you would think. It definitely still is, but you can still get all that stuff there, so you can save room for more clothes. I don't know, like clothes probably, if you're an average American size, take your own because Filipinos are so cute and tiny. There's no skirts that will fit you, and sometimes not shirts either. But they do have stuff that you can find. For safety, I would say don't feel afraid. And I saw a lot of sisters who are white or fair-skinned that kind of use that as almost an excuse, like, oh, I don't want to talk to them because like it's not safe. But the way I saw it was that as long as you're doing what the Lord wants you to do, He'll protect you. And even like I had crazy experiences, I never felt unsafe, because the people are so friendly, and anybody would help you if you needed it. Obviously be smart in your decisions and where to go, like during the times of day, but the Lord will protect you, and that's not something really you need to be super worried about. Well, it's just like kind of any other country. There's people who are not good people. And so you just have to be really aware of people, and especially their intentions, because, you know, you are a sister, and if you're from anywhere that's light-skinned, then that's definitely something that they're excited to, like, talk to, or, like, someone to talk to and to be around. So you definitely have to just be aware. There's a lot of times that they'll flirt with you and like try and like take you on dates or something. So it's just important to always make sure that they know that you're a missionary and like the reasons that you're there for. And I never had anyone really give me a hard time about it. And like once they understand that like you're there and you're like on the Lord's errand, and you know you're a member of the church, then they kind of just back off and they'll be fine. It is always important though, if you ever feel like something isn't right, even if you walk away from it, to tell your district leader or your mission president, because it's never a bad thing to be on the safe side, because there were times in our mission, not for me, but I've heard about other sisters that they did have some scary experiences, and definitely you should let the priest sit in on that so that they can help you if they need to. Like every like little city, they have their own like fiesta or like party, and sometimes they get a little bit crazy. So I remember we were supposed to visit this member, and you know my companion was like, I don't know if we should, and so we prayed about it, and we were like, we shouldn't go there. And like they were a member, we were just gonna like share a lesson because they had a referral for us, but we decided not to go. And like later that week we found out that, you know, their neighbors had been drinking a lot, and it's just like with anybody, like if you're drinking a lot, you know, kind of don't know what you're doing. So I don't know if anything would have happened, but it was nice to know that the Spirit was watching out for us, that, you know, we didn't visit them that day and they weren't offended, and we just went back a different day and it was fine. Well, it's definitely a big adjustment, I think, for anybody, and I think maybe just a little bit more for sisters because we're a little bit more emotional, and a little bit more like compassionate towards other people. That my biggest problem, not problem, but hardest thing for me was seeing people with so little, and it just made me really sad. And sometimes it's hard for me, I just don't want to go, because like, you know, the places that you're going, and it's really hard, at least it was for me, to like not be around it, but to see that I was so blessed at home and I couldn't help them, kind of thing. But something that I like realized is they're so happy either way. And so for me, you know, just I learned that prayer was a really big thing to help with no matter like what emotional side you're dealing with, because it is a lot to take in, and especially in the Philippines it's a lot different than it is here. But to know that Heavenly Father loves them just as much and they have everything that they need, and especially if they choose to listen to the message that we have to share and to continue and progress in that, then He'll bless them even more than they can imagine.
Okay, the one thing I wish I'd brought on my mission, the whole mission, is earplugs. And that's like not so bad that you can't hear anything because you wake up to your alarm, but there's just cocks crowing at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, so you can't sleep when the sun comes up. I would have brought earplugs and probably like one of those face masks they wear in, like, I don't know, like the things that say princess or whatever, because it just gets so bright so early, and the dogs barking and the roosters are crowing and it's so loud. And like that Catholic prayer, my second area, it was just so loud, they would just blast it and you could not hear it. And so we turn on the fan sometimes so we could like tune that out. I wish I had brought earplugs. Also, for shoes, they just get worn out. I wish I kind of had brought something with a really thick sole, because they just die. But if you not, they do buy Crocs there. I didn't like the Crocs, I thought they were ugly. But they kind of look like dress shoes. They have really nice Crocs. I just didn't like them. I felt like my feet were turning to prunes. So I would just wear normal shoes and just trash them. I went through probably like 5 or 6 pairs. So don't worry too much about shoes. You just buy them. They're all like $2, $4. Like, it's no big deal. And other tips, it's hot. It's really hot. So your hair is going to be up. I ended up rebonding my hair, which is like a chemical straighten, because it's only like $20. It's like $150 in America. And that was really nice, because then I could sometimes do my hair down. But so you might want to get that done when you get there. I don't know. It's really nice. It just grows out. And you wash all your clothes by hand. So my mom would always tell me to like get really sturdy clothes. But mine were all fine. We'd like wear holes in our clothes, but like they'd last like a year or so. Like nothing too crazy. If people tell you crazy things, don't really believe them. It's not that much different. Just buy really thin clothes. If you have anything wool or anything else, leave it, because you won't wear it. I didn't care how cute it was. I was not wearing it unless it was to church on Sunday to the air-conditioned chapel. Like, anything thick, just leave it. Just get thin, light clothing.
So it's a little different than other missions because you're sweating all the time. It's humid. I know as sisters, we like to look our tip-top best all the time. And it's good to try and look good, obviously, but I wouldn't worry too much about full-on makeup. Just something simple, because it will end up melting off your face. By the end of the day, you'll have sweated it off pretty much. Your hair is going to be crazy no matter what. They have something called rebonding in the Philippines. It chemically straightens your hair because it just like turns into a frizz ball. Just put your hair up. You'll rather have it up to keep you cooler. Clothes wise, so this is where I've heard a lot of contradicting opinions. Before my mission, a lot of different sisters told me like, oh, wear this, wear this. It really is up to you. I've heard cotton is good because it's more breathable, but it also, when you sweat, it just stays. It doesn't dry off of cotton until you take it off. And so I didn't like that personally. There were some days I preferred to wear cotton, but it's hard because you just feel wet all the time. Another one, I liked a lot of sheer things. So I'm trying to think, I don't know how to explain sheer, just, sheer material. The problem with that is it's see-through. So if you could find something, I went to the Sister Missionary mall and I got stuff that weren't as see-through, which was really nice. But sheer material is nice because the sweat just rolls right off, and so it's not staying on you. The only problem is that does feel a little bit tighter, and so sometimes you might feel a little bit hotter wearing that. Skirts. Be careful with your skirts. I had moments on my mission where I got like really light skirts because I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be hot. So lighter skirts are good. No, they're not, because there are what are called storms or bagyos at the Philippines, and the wind will just come and lift your skirt right up. That happened to me a couple times, and that was pretty uncomfortable. I had to throw those skirts away. Let's see. Yeah, you want probably about calf length skirts. Anything higher than that, I know it can be to the knee, but you have to take in consideration that you're going to be riding on jeepneys and tricycles. And so when you do that and you're climbing in the jeepneys and stuff, if you bend over it, it like goes up higher and you can see stuff. So I was always most comfortable with calf length skirts. And then as for shoes, when you're proselyting, depending on what mission you go to, even in the city, I preferred to wear rubber shoes. So anything from like good ballet shoes from Crocs, those were my favorite because they're breathable. Some sisters wore stockings or like socks. I didn't like that just because it's really, really hot and your feet smell awful by the end of the day. But rubber shoes are really good. You need to bring other shoes that are good for like conferences, because you'll have general authorities and like apostles coming and speaking to you. So I had a pair of nice like leather shoes, and those are actually nice sometimes during the rainy season because your feet do get kind of cold when they get wet. So a good place for that would be next to the Missionary Mall. I got my shoes there. There's a shoe store, I think, to the left of it. And those lasted me my entire mission, even when dogs came and ate them up. They were really useful. Bring a lot of mosquito repellent. Sisters tend to get eaten a lot more than elders do. I don't know why that is, but yeah, your mosquitoes will definitely attack you.